I took the DNA in your body, right, and I put it end to end, so I take like, there's about, I can't remember how much, I made the calculation, but it was a while ago, per cell, but there's about 100 trillion cells in the body. And I took the DNA and I stretched it out in each cell, and then I put it end to end, and calculate how long that is. You could wrap it around the world 5 million times. 5 million times you can take your DNA that's in you right now and wrap it around the world, okay? That's what's happening in you right now in order for you to be here, to digest your food, to look at me, to, function, so your brain works and all this. And so, and all this DNA, imagine this little piece of information on this side of DNA is going across to this other piece of information of DNA, right? Imagine that you had to transfer this information here to that information there, okay, 5 million times around the world after, so that your toe cells don't start making nose cells, and your nose cells don't start making toe cells, because a nose in your shoes wouldn't be very comfortable. That's happening right now so that your system is completely coherent. So, why am I telling you all this? Well, first of all, to realize the miracle of your existence is a good thing. To realize what your potential is a good thing too. But as well, to realize that there's an amazing coordination, there's an amazing pattern, there's a fundamental pattern of creation at play here that makes it possible for this to happen in your life. Meaning, it's not a random thing. It's not the universe going, this works, this doesn't work, this works, and trying to put together. You can't do it that way. Even since the Big Bang, which is now estimated about 14 billion years ago, you don't have enough time to get even one human being, forget a human being, even like a grain of grass, right, is too complex. I mean, if you take a shovel of dirt, there's about the same amount of DNA as there is in you in the shovel of dirt because of all the microbial content. So imagine all the DNA there is on the planet. Imagine all the organization that goes on. It's an amazing thing. And it can't, as far as I'm concerned, and, I think that there's lots of evidence for it, it can't be done in a random way. There's got to be a fundamental pattern. The problem is when you start talking like that, is people say, oh my God, he must be a fundamental Christian or something. Because people, if they think of organized systems, they right away jump to like, the other alternative is that there's some God up there organizing creation. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's fundamental patterns of creation in the vacuum. That the vacuum is not nothing, but that the vacuum is actually highly organized, structured, and polarized. And that's how atoms and structures come together and organize, and the network of information is present in the vacuum that allows all that information to be there so that the universe knows what to do and what works, right? Because it's communicating. Everything is communicating with everything. Now, if that's true, then everything is curved to infinity. What I was saying earlier, I know I'm using physics terms, but can everybody understand where I'm going or how I'm... Okay, so that, like, what I'm saying is that if an atom can be divided and divided and divided and divided into infinity, now you're really not dealing with just an atom, but you're dealing with something that would be more akin to a black hole, right? Because it's got infinite density. It's like a mini black hole. A teeny weeny mini black hole we call an atom. Right? And it just happens that there's all sorts of reasons why that may be true. Like one of them being that the electron cloud spin at near the speed of light, so you'd expect that in the vicinity of a black hole. The other one is that the fundamental force that holds the atom together, which is thought to be the strong force, in the case of an atom being a mini black hole, just happens to be gravity. If you change the concept of an atom from what it was to an atom being a mini black hole, all of a sudden your calculation says that what holds the atom together is gravity, not some weird strong force that we invented. So that's, all different, and that changes physics fundamentally. But just sit with this for a minute. You're made of billions and billions of mini, teeny, weeny black holes. All right? And they're constantly, through the electron cloud, right, moving information in and out. They're constantly sending information to the vacuum and sending it back out and sending it back in and sending it back out. And that feedback of creation is what we call reality. When the vacuum expands, we see it. When the vacuum expands, we see it. We see the radiation of it. When it contracts, when the information is going in, we don't. We call it the vacuum. And in terms of physics, we call it gravity. So that, according to my theory. Right. So now you have a whole relationship between the radiative side, the electromagnetic field, and the gravitation component. You have this feedback of information, and feedbacks undergo very specific geometric functions in order to be able to do that. And so that's how I figured out that feedback early, and I started to look for the geometry that would allow that to happen. Because I was looking for that key, man. Because I don't like being stuck to this planet. So I